I want
And
to
to
play
quote
with
Vince, you're going to have to learn to eat shit and like the taste of it.
Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, Rock and Roll Matty Goldberg. We got sports, and more sports going on.
sports. Best time of year.
Most magical time of the year. It is.
The best time of the year.
It is. We don't even have time to get into the NBA. NBA is starting back up, too.
I know. I heard Bronny made the team.
Are you serious?
That's what I hear. You made the team.
Oh, my. He's so bad. He's so incredibly bad at basketball.
He's going to take the Lakers to the finals.
Oh, my God. What if he did?
What if that happened?
That'd be awesome. How you guys doing? Jim,
Good.
is in the house?
I'm doing great. The office is very bare right now, but it's coming along.
Yeah, you got to put some stuff in there. It's very echoey there without all your
echoey right now
stuff. But it looks nice.
You got some reverb going on.
Yeah,
it's bigger than my last one.
Yeah.
No,
well,
it's
welcome.
a nice
I'm
place.
glad you're next thing you know, you're gonna have a little XFL gym.
Oh,
we'll see, man. We'll see.
XFL Jim the second.
Too fast.
Oh my god.
Too fast.
XFL Junior.
Yeah. XFL Jim or an XFL Jenny.
Ooh.
A female like XFL Jim. Oh my god.
But yeah, man, a lot of football, a lot of some baseball, a lot of football though.
So big news. Big news today. Davante Adams to the Jets, Amari Cooper to the Bills.
Where do we start?
I don't know. Which one do you think has the most impact?
Well,
I think Amari Cooper has the most impact.
Yeah, he's got a better impact, and I think this Davante Adams is going to be an absolute disaster for the Jets. I think it's a horrible idea. I think they're trying to put Band-Aids on their problems to win.
Yeah.
They're so far away. And then when Rodgers retires next year, guess what? You're going to have a disgruntled Davante Adams with a lot of money on a contract who's going to probably sit out again. Good, congratulations. And you probably give up draft picks. I don't understand.
With that whole Aaron Rodgers thing, they're still kind of, as much as like they're in a down slump, they're still kind of in win now mode, aren't they?
Well, they're in a win now mode, but they're not close to there. You are what your record is. You're 2-4. I mean, this is a move where you're like, you feel like you're one player away. They're not one player away. They're a whole mindset away. They're not a championship team, man.
I don't know. I love it when his players drop passes and then you get to see the Aaron Rodgers eye roll. Like, oh God. Oh, I threw it right to you.
They're reuniting with Davante Adams.
I'm in the thing too. Like yesterday with Mike Williams, he throws a perfect pass, and it's just like a Jet thing where Mike Williams falls, and it's an interception. It's just like the 2 easy field goals missed. I mean,
the Jets made sure everybody knew that it was Mike Williams' fault too. So,
yeah, well, it was. I mean,
no, like he didn't even run the route right. It wasn't just the falling. He didn't run the route.
Well, he was wide open, and then he just slips.
Yeah,
and you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with this team? So many things could have gone their way last night and didn't. But I do think with Josh Allen, the way he plays, he was going to figure out a way to win that game.
The Jets defense didn't look good either. Like they were missing tackles. They couldn't tackle.
Oh, yeah. But thank God Amari Cooper must be so happy to get out of the shithole that is Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's a dump of a team that basically is in a situation where they probably made one of the worst trades in football history, one of the worst contracts in football history. And now he's going to a winning team.
Oh, boy.
Do you think somehow that with the Brown situation that Stefanski somehow like gets outed?
I mean, he's a good coach, and
he's a really good coach.
He's got a playoff win. He's got 2 playoff appearances in Cleveland. which when he took over, they were one of the worst teams ever. Um, it's hard to fire him. I mean, it's more like you got Deshaun Watson, and that's what set your franchise back. Is it the coach's fault? I mean, is it Deshaun sucking because he's not being coached well? I mean, he lit it up with Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien's not exactly an amazing NFL coach. So
Fair.
I don't
I
know.
hope he doesn't get fired. I don't
I
know.
hope not, because I think he's a really good coach.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, they could just do a freaking fire sale and rebuild quickly. They could do so, and
well,
go
you
from there.
gotta probably cut ties with Deshaun, and then people are like, "Well, how can you? It's like $100 million, whatever." But what's the point of playing him? Like you can play him and spend 100 million and lose, or you can't play him, do better, and have a better chance to win. So it's like these people are like, "Well, you can't cut him because of his contract, so you're just supposed to put him out there and lose." I don't get it. Like you're gonna lose anyway.
They're
Yeah.
supposed to just lose, Maddie.
It makes zero sense. I mean, you just gotta look. Jimbo Fisher is getting $76 million. He stinks.
Yeah, but they're
Monty
doing good.
Williams
So
is
yeah,
getting
that's
like
actually a good
100 million
point.
from the
A&M
Suns
record.
and Pistons.
Exactly. So just
Um,
cut it, man. Just cut it off. There's nothing could be salvaged from this.
They pay
No,
money to have him go away.
I don't even know if he would get picked up by another team, to be honest.
not at this point because he's not worth it. He would have
No.
to like be gone for like another like year or two
And
to
then
be
maybe
somebody.
give him another shot.
Yeah, like you got to get that taste out of your mouth at least a
Yeah.
little bit. I mean, this is terrible between the bad publicity of his off-field actions and with his just shit play. He's like statistically one of the worst. He's like the worst QB in the league
I
statistically.
heard that they're 0 for 34 on third downs. I think that was the stat I saw. I could be wrong.
That's not a good stat.
No.
I don't care what anybody says. That is not a good stat.
And that can be like 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 20, but 0 for 34 is insanely bad. Boy, Amari Cooper, he's probably so happy. And the Bills get another wide receiver. They're going to be kind of stocked there. You got Shakir, you got the young kid Coleman, you got Mac Hollins, who always plays well, and now you got Amari Cooper. I mean, that's pretty sick. They just need Cole Beasley.
He's like out, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's in that league anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna
Good
say.
rapper though.
All right. Other NFL news over the weekend. A lot of like just fucking steamrolling. We had the Packers blowing up the Cards. We had the Lions just obliterating the Cowboys.
On
Yeah, that
Jerry
was
Jones'
awesome.
birthday of all things.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Worst defeat of his tenure, I
this
believe.
was the most predictable week of games. Like, I'm in a confidence pool, and I look at it with no spreads, and everybody went like 12-2 or something, 11-3.
I think all the favorites like even covered too.
Yeah, it was a pretty like non-surprising week.
Well, we had the bright spot. We had QB1 is back.
He played good.
Spencer Rattler,
He
Rat
played
Attack.
good, man. The Rattlesnake played good.
Yeah, he didn't look terrible.
I mean, he made some plays, and it wasn't his fault. It's just the Saints are off right now, but he wasn't the reason they lost for sure.
No,
I mean,
when you give up 50, it's your defense.
and he only really had one bad play, and he was. You know what happens when you're in the NFL? You know everything goes fast, and he was making quick decisions, and that's when you know you're doing okay because yes, the game speeds up, and I was watching it, and I'm like, he's making that first good decision. You know, he's not panicking. So good start so far for him. But he's got to put some wins under his belt.
So even though the Eagles won, Sirianni lost it on his crowd. He went and yelled at the Eagles fan for booing him. I mean, have you ever seen a head coach do this?
No, not as crazy as that.
I've never seen a head coach who's like actively winning right now, be it like as on the hot seat as Nick Sirianni.
There's something off about him. Like, he doesn't look like he's got like when you think like head coaches, you think like Belichick, whatever, like these kind of weird football geniuses, or even guys who played it. He just looks like he like was in the stands booing the Eagles, and they're like, "Hey, you want to coach?"
He reminds me of, like, in school you have those kids that are like they're not
Bullies.
dumb, but they're emotionally you know,
Stunted.
Yeah,
stunted, and they go to a different school. He's like one of those.
yeah. He reminds me
He
of this kid I went to school with named Gene Paquette.
Stop teasing me.
I hope Gene's not listening to this.
Oh, he
He, wa- he
is. Go on.
Gene was a kid that was like a year younger than me that wanted to fight me one time, and he's literally like 6 feet in the eighth grade, and I was like 5 feet in the ninth grade. He's like, "You fucker, I'll fight," and I'm like, "You'll kill me, bro. Like, what's the point?" You
They
know?
start shaking because they're so mad. They can't get their emotions out.
No. Yeah, and his response was weird too. He gave like this apology that was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna apology, but I don't fucking mean it." It was one of the weirdest apologies I've ever seen.
Wow. It's so
Why?
funny. It's weird that he's just not fired yet. What are they going to see different that,
Listen, let
like,
me tell you something. Watch stuff with Bill Belichick in Cleveland the last season, and now and like you think you have it bad. This guy had a police escort going back to his house. They wanted to murder him.
oh man.
So like Nick, you gotta relax. Yeah, there's a couple guys booing you, saying to fire you. Just shut up and win. You win, it will take care of everything.
So Lions won. They lost Aiden Hutchinson in
That
a
was brutal.
gruesome
That
leg
was brutal.
injury. Um,
They should trade for Hassan Reddick, is my opinion.
well, it's Hassan Reddick, I think, or Max Crosby. I think they can
Wow, if
get.
the Raiders give him Max Crosby, that'd be sick.
He
It's
did
sad
just
because
tweet out Raider for life. So
Aiden is a loved guy. He's a great guy. He's a local guy. It's such a shame, but such a part of the game of football, you know?
Oh, Max
It's
Crosby's
just
a local guy too. We could get
it's
him.
just a
no,
part of
Eastern
fucking
Michigan
football.
great.
Yeah,
Yes.
he really Eastern Michigan. I
Yeah,
mean, the
no, the
Raiders would
Hutchinson thing
be
though is beyond his what he does on the field. He's just the dude,
he
like he
really is.
gets
And he
everybody going. When Michigan started to make their turnaround, like
Lifeblood of
he
the
was
team.
like the guy
yes.
who was like
Yeah, I
getting
mean, I
everybody
saw it in
pumped.
Hard Knocks how much the guys liked him, and you think sometimes like a guy that comes in that gets like 60 million signing bonus, people are gonna be a little like, before we like you, you gotta kind of like they loved him from day one. I could tell
Yeah.
like he fit in and he was a team guy and he was very loved, and I just hope he gets better because he's got such a future, and this hurts the Lions, but maybe they'll rally. And maybe they'll be so good like they beat Dallas that they can just steamroll everybody. I
I
mean,
think
they're
Yeah.
their
fucking
offense is
good.
going to be good enough to like be. Their defense doesn't need to be like top 8 for them to win a lot of these games.
They did a lot of trolling during the game with those offensive linemen, like just fucking with the Cowboys, bringing guys in, throwing passes to linemen, doing fucking hook and ladders to the line, like
That's just humiliating them,
very
though, man.
salty about last year, which is
Yeah.
kind of fun, but that just shows how shitty Dallas is. When the other team is just fucking with you, you suck. Your coach sucks. You're not building the team right. Time to clean house. Mike McCarthy is a fat pig. Sorry.
Yeah, he's one guy who I just don't understand how he still has a job, yet he does.
Super Bowl. That's all. You just got to point to a
Isn't it
Super Bowl.
amazing? Like
Right.
Nick
20 years
Sirianni too.
ago?
Yeah, I mean Nick Sirianni is a Super Bowl coach, not a winning coach. Literally 3 points away from winning though, so it's hard to fire a guy. It's like when you make a Super Bowl or you win a Super Bowl, you're a coach or a quarterback, you get a longer leash.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can ride that for years.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
you'll get
But if
another
your
job.
roster is looking really good and you're getting mediocre
Ask the yeah.
performances, that's the
Ask the
problem.
coach in Jacksonville about keeping his job after winning a Super Bowl. What's his face? Peterson. Doug Peterson. Because it's been a disaster there. Holy shit.
Yeah.
WP and Nick Foles,
Yeah.
baby.
I gotta say, Caleb Williams is pretty good. He's the real deal. Jalen Daniels, even though they lost, is the real deal. Um, that's why I don't like this Jets deal because it's like you can't. I don't think you can win in the NFL or even baseball just buying like other teams' headaches, even though they're talented, and then thinking they're gonna, shape up on your team. You gotta draft a quarterback that hits, which is not easy, and then you gotta build a team around him. And the two teams that are up and coming are Houston and Washington. Like they didn't go out and get Devontae Adams that we don't know how good he is anymore. Uh, and I gotta be honest, Aaron Rodgers ain't Tom Brady.
Nope.
Tom Brady not as talented as him, knows how to win, knows how to bring a team together. Aaron Rodgers 2-4, coach fired already. I mean, just the way it is. Although I'm excited to watch his documentary.
What games are you guys looking forward to this weekend for NFL?
Oh, by the way, I'm also looking forward to tonight. Aaron Hernandez. There was an epic scene, by the way. Is it okay I tell you about it?
I guess if you're gonna spoil it, don't tell me what happens at the
Well, it was
end.
last week. So Aaron Hernandez gets invited to a Bob Kraft party at like his mansion.
Oh.
And like everybody's so bourgeois, and they're just him and his like girl are not fitting in. And then Belichick is like sitting alone at this like rich party. He's like, "Hey, Aaron, come over." He's like, "I don't know who you are," and you think it's like he's gonna read him like, "Are you a psychopath?" Or and he's like, "Oh, you don't know who I am?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, are you a tight end? Are you a wide receiver? Are you running back? I figure we put you in the nickel slot that was run by TCU in 1950 on a asphalt. And so they want to do this whole thing like Belichick at this rich party is just stinking football and giving Hernandez a history lesson. It's so silly.
Oh my God. That's fucking
But I
great.
can't wait for the next episode. And he likes to walk around the locker room naked, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot.
what they said. He was always had his dong out. Like,
Yeah. Like they made him pick up pads on the field and he goes out naked to like pick up the pads. They're just like, whoa.
Trying to show off.
Hey man, if you
yeah, it's
got it, flaunt it.
advertising. Here I am, boys.
But the Belichick guy is pretty funny. And the weirdest thing is no lines from Tom Brady. It's almost as like they don't want. Well, we'll see this week. But I'm like, why aren't there any lines from Tom Brady?
Oh, I guarantee Brady would sue if he didn't look good.
That's what I was
And
thinking.
yeah, like he is the brand.
Yes.
Jim, are you gonna watch the Aaron Hernandez show?
I'll
I
probably like
recommend it.
binge it once it's all ready. I've heard a lot of things that it's like very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
You'll enjoy the Urban Meyer part. But yeah, I'm excited to see the Jets this week versus Pittsburgh, and they're gonna start Russell Wilson, which I don't understand.
Is that confirmed? I've seen like rumors. I haven't seen anything confirmed yet.
I'm not gonna say it's confirmed. I don't know.
Because that makes no sense to me.
I agree. I mean, they're doing well with Justin Fields. He's not lighting the league up, but he's not turning the ball over, and they put up 32 points. So,
He's
like,
been doing
why?
better like every week, I thought.
I think for the Jets, it's a plus if Russell Wilson. He's gonna be rusty as hell. You have no idea what he's gonna do. He hasn't been good the last few years. I think the Jets are in better shape with Russell Wilson.
And Devontae Adams already in New York, so he'll play this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did confirm that. They said he is playing.
Yeah.
so next week is week. Are we ready
Yeah.
on week 7?
Got
Seven
Niners
already.
and Chiefs.
We got the return of Sean Payton in New Orleans.
Yes.
God, I want the Niners to win so bad.
You just hate the Chiefs so much now.
I think everybody does. The trade of Minnesota is a
Yeah.
massive game.
That's a banger. That's a banger.
In Minnesota, that crowd is going to be hyped.
They will.
Is
I
that
still
is
think-
that sneaky best division in the NFL?
Yeah, it's not
It's
sneaky.
not
It's
sneaky.
hard.
It is.
It's like easily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's not a bad team.
It's the only division that doesn't have a bad team.
Dude, the worst team is probably the Bears, and they're fucking good.
yeah.
Well, you remember Bears, every opponent that they played 1-5.
Doesn't
Every
matter.
win.
As
Every
Bill
win.
Parcells
Oh,
says,
really?
you are
Yeah,
what
every
your
win that the
record
Bears
is.
have, their opponent's 1-5.
As
That's
Bill
hilarious.
Parcells says, you are what your record is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But Caleb Williams is getting better as he goes, so it could,
Also
they'll
true.
keep getting better.
He is getting better.
And that defense is legit. Like I don't even with the injuries, that defense is still
The
legit.
D is legit.
I think Texans Packers going to be good too.
Oh, that's good. Jordan Love played very well this week.
Yeah.
He made a throw. Did you see that throw he made to Dobbs on the sideline? That was insane.
What is the London game Pats Jags?
Yes.
Oh,
I thought May played pretty well though. The first half he took some hits, but he threw a dime for a touchdown, and then he had two other touchdown passes. So
No, I
I
thought he
think,
looked pretty good.
yeah, for his
Maddie, are you
first
waking
game,
up for that?
am I am I
2-1
waking
five
up?
teams.
What? Say that again?
Are you waking up for that game?
Of course, I wake up. If it was 0-6 versus 0-6, I got my alarm.
Maddie has the same thing with the NFL, especially, but we have the same thing with college football
Exactly.
and the NFL. You watch every game, even the worst games right now, because in
Absolutely.
the middle of like June and July, you are begging for football.
Absolutely. You know what you're really banging for football? Like February, when you
I'm
realize how boring the weekends are without football.
I got the
Maddie, why'd you
UFL
have to
coming
go
up.
there again?
Sorry.
Why'd you have to do it? Now Jim's going to be pissed.
But
Also,
yeah,
though, also with February and whatnot, at least sports wise, you have like college basketball kind of like ramping up.
that really doesn't kick in for me till March. But
End
then
of June, like conference play and whatnot, conference
but then
tournaments in
during the
February. Those are
summer,
fun.
there's like a couple months where I'm just like, I want to maybe try to go out on the weekends, and so there's no football. But then like August, you're just jonesing for it.
Oh, dude, the second August kicks in, like for me, it's I'm good. End of June. Well, for me, football never really ends, but like for college football in the NFL, like end of June is like the weeks where I'm just doing whatever and calm. And then about end of like mid July to
Yeah,
start of August, I'm craving football.
I know. It gets you through a lot of like every night you got, with all the baseball too. I watch all the baseball games. It gives me something to do. So, yeah, I'm
Especially
into.
right now where there's football on every night.
I know.
There's some Conference USA games going on right now.
What's tomorrow, Maction?
There's a little bit of I don't think Maction fully kicks in till like end of October, November. But there's Conference USA and Sun Belt, and then the Friday games in college football have been like there's always been at least one Friday game.
Yeah, I mean the Nebraska Illinois game was very good.
We get Purdue, Oregon.
Is that a
Watch
Friday
out.
night?
Watch
That's
out.
hilarious that these are the
By
games
the way,
now.
when we get to college, we got to talk about Dan Lanning. I
Yeah.
can't take his
Oh
energy.
my God. Looking
Oh
at
man,
that
he's like a
motherfucker.
pro wrestler.
There's
The
something so
faces he
cringe about him.
makes. He's like,
There's
oh,
something there's
yeah.
something so cringe about him and obnoxious. He reminded me of like some dude at a bar who's playing like the buckshot game, and he's like, "Yeah, I fucking high score, motherfucker.
And then he goes
Give
and
me a shot of beer." He's
goes
got
and
little
puts
dick
like Enter
energy.
Sandman on the jukebox.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know?
yeah.
He's
He
cutting his wrestling promos pre and post game every time.
it's got to be obnoxious too, because like the other coach has to be
It's like,
bothered by it, in my opinion.
well, especially if you lose to him. Like
Yeah.
you look over across the sideline, you see a guy like,
Do that when you get off the field. Like, be a professional. Like, wait till you get off the field and go in the locker
well,
room. Do that with your like he's
regardless of
fucking.
this dipshit, though, it was a great game.
Yeah, we hate Ohio State, so and I think this is quite the end for that weird looking fuck that's the coach. He
You
is
think
such
this,
a weird.
Maddie? You think this is the end for
Ryan
Ryan Day?
Day.
Yeah, of course.
Ryan Day's lost like this is like maybe his fourth regular season loss, I
It
think.
doesn't matter.
Maddie, but the thing is, the loss doesn't
Their
matter this year because
expectations are.
they can still win the championship if they
I
make the playoffs.
understand. I understand that, but it's they have to make it to the championship game, or I think he's on the hot seat
Well,
because
yeah, but they can still easily do that.
I understand that. But the point is
Matt, he
with
was,
them,
Ryan Day was going against a coaching mastermind in Dan Lanning. Don't you
Exactly.
know he put 12 players on the field to suck 4 seconds off the clock and got a penalty on purpose? You can't
I
compete with
mean,
that.
I don't know, possibly. But
And
but
They changed the rule because of it.
what I'm gonna
what, just
say
this
about
week?
it,
Yeah, they just announced that they're changing the rule.
but
It's
well,
kind of
Brian
a
Day, I
weird
want to
thing
say
because it doesn't just having 12 players on the field doesn't guarantee you're going to stop the
I want to
offense.
say one thing about Brian Day though. He's there to win championships. Like if you don't win championships, we'll bring in another guy that
Oh
will.
yeah.
So it's not like, oh, 2 losses, 1 loss, good season. It's like, no.
Well,
Are
you know, the
you
last guy only won one championship.
in about 3 or 4 years?
How
And he
long was
won it
Urban there?
probably 4 years, and he won it in his first year.
No, I
Was
think he was
that
there like 7
that was
years.
not his first year, was it?
I think he won
No.
his second year or something like that. I can go through it, but he did win a championship.
He did win a championship.
And Brian Day has a couple playoff appearances, 3 losses to Michigan in a row. Obviously, they'll beat Michigan this year. I mean, that would be awesome if they lost to Michigan, but I think the spread is going to be like 17 points. So there's that.
But he was 7 years at Ohio State, by the way.
Who did?
Urban Meyer.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they won in their, he went 12-0 his first year, but they were on sanctions. And then 12-2, and then 14-1. He never lost more than 2 games a season.
That's
Like,
pretty impressive.
yeah, no, he was fantastic.
I mean, Brian Day, his numbers are pretty good too, but three years in a row losing to Michigan.
Speaking of Urban Meyer, though, fun Urban Meyer fact: every team that Urban Meyer had ever coached lost this weekend.
Oh, interesting.
Another Urban Meyer
Jacksonville
fact.
lost.
Yeah. Way to
Ohio
go,
State,
Urban Meyer.
Utah, Florida, Bowling Green. Every school every team that he had coached lost.
Yeah, Utah got beat by Arizona State.
Yeah, Cam Rising did not look good. He's still hurt. He's very obviously still hurt.
I think he's done for the year.
I think he should hold it. He should hang him up. I mean, he's been
Well,
there
you guys
for 12
did you
years.
guys see that he is eligible for another medical year next year?
So wild.
Really? Well, that could be another $1 million for him if he.
Where's
Yeah,
Dylan
he's
Gabriel going to
eligible
play
for an
next year?
8th year in college football.
Where's Dylan Gabriel going to play next year?
Probably the pros. He looked really good.
Some of these guys I feel like are going to be in college the rest of their lives.
That's Cam Rising, dude.
Yeah. I feel like Dylan Gabriel's been there for 12 years.
That new Michigan quarterback, Jack Tuttle, they call him Uncle Jack because it's like his.
Yeah,
I think he started at Indiana, maybe even before Michael Penix did.
That's
I
wild.
think so.
And that's what scares me about Nebraska. Indiana is legit. That is a big time game.
Hey, I'm excited. This is going to be a huge game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very excited.
I mean, you can really catapult yourself in playoff talks with that win. Whoever wins that.
I'm glad that we're not going in ranked.
Are they ranked?
That's good. Gives that
Indiana's
upset
ranked.
vibe.
Nebraska's not. Nebraska's like on the cusp.
Yeah.
What's the line on that game, Jim?
I haven't looked yet. I would assume Indiana minus like 4.5, minus 6.
I'll tell you what it is.
Manage. They're really good. Nebraska's looked a little weak these last couple of weeks, but I think our defense is still really good. I would say Indiana minus 4.5 to like 5.5, somewhere around
The
there.
line is for that game. It's Saturday, right? I take it.
Yep, it's Saturday.
That'd be.
Let me know, Maddie.
Sorry,
waiting with bated
Wow,
breath.
Georgia, Texas, Saturday.
It's -6. Indiana minus.
I got on Bovada 6.5.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what it is on the
that
ESPN.
sounds about right.
So, let's see. We also in a game where like both coaches needed to win. Penn State outlasted.
Yes.
USC in overtime.
I'll tell you this.
Lincoln Riley with the late game collapse. They were up big at half, weren't they?
Yeah, they were up by 10 or 13. James Franklin finally wins a big game.
Also, I just want before you get it, Maddie, every USC Penn State game I've ever seen has been an instant classic.
When I saw the score, I was like, same old Penn State. Never win the big game.
Yeah.
Same old bullshit. and they finally won a big
Well, they
game.
fought. They stuck in it, and they
Yeah,
fought.
they
Lincoln
did.
Riley, do you think he just basically is a product from being in a league that never played defense and being a great
I
offensive
think he
guy?
needs a top quarterback. This is a guy that's like he's one of those guys that like has been on the roster, hung around, and got a shot. But he's not like a Caleb Williams, 5-star guy, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. That's what he's supposed to do. Is he's supposed to get the top quarterback in the country, and he's playing with a guy that's like he's developing or
But
who's
you
kind.
just can't count on having the top quarterback. Look at Ohio State the last couple of years now.
Yeah.
Really, even though they're still competitive and playing well, that it's just not the same team when you don't have
Yeah,
like
but you
Justin
know
Fields
what's
and Stroud
interesting
and
about a coach like that? He shouldn't have to recruit that guy. The guy should want to recruit to go to him.
Oh,
That it's like,
well,
if you're the
it's
top
it's not
quarterback,
that
you want to
simple
play.
anymore though. It's
Yeah,
before it would absolutely benefit, when there's no way to make money in college, the only way is to make money by getting into the pros. So if you got a
yeah,
guy with a track record with QBs, yeah, but now if you got other schools offering you money to go to your school, like why can't I make $1 million now while I'm in college?
true.
You know?
But I think you'd want to develop yourself for think long term. And he doesn't have that guy, and it's shocking because he's regressed. The program has regressed. And if you see what he got, you're just like, you're dumbfounded at how much shit USC gave him to.
worse record than Clay Helton in this amount of time.
But in all fairness to him,
Where's Clay
Jim,
Helton these days?
there was a
He's at
time that
Florida Atlantic.
Wow.
in
Okay.
fairness to him, there was
No,
a
sorry,
time
he's
Jim
at Georgia Southern.
Harbaugh, they were like Jim Harbaugh has the same record as Brady Hoke, and we know how it ended up.
It's the
Yeah.
same. People did the same thing with Kirby Smart and Mark Richt.
Yeah,
Well, like Mark Rick won games. The thing is, can you win the big games?
never could.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
What's he doing now?
He's retired. He does a
I was
little
like,
work
okay.
like announcing and stuff, but he's
I was
retired.
gonna say, I thought I saw him on like ESPN or something a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, he doesn't coach. He didn't do very good with the U. His last stint was with the great Tate Martell, the
Maddie's
greatest
favorite.
high school football player of all time. I mean, when Tate Martell, when he has grandkids, he can say, "I was the greatest high school football player of all time."
Do
Do
you
you
think Tate
guys feel like?
Martell? Go ahead,
Oh,
Jim.
no. No, go ahead, Luke.
I'm just wondering, Maddie, if you think Tate Martell has found true love yet.
I don't think so. I watched some of his Instagram. I'm gonna say no.
He
Okay.
should go on The Bachelorette.
Yes.
Yeah. Tate Martell. Yo,
Oh, get
what's
a
up?
bunch of like ex football players that like flamed out.
There's a lot of them on there already. Like you, like there was a gay one, Colton, who came out as gay after he was on it, but he was like, in the Chargers preseason and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
there was a few other guys that are on there.
Do you
Anyway,
guys feel like this year in college football has more parity than the last couple have?
Oh, of
oh, it's
course.
insane.
Like
Bama
Yeah.
barely
a
won
crazy
again
amount of
this
parity
week.
comparatively.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is like when Bama plays like a Mississippi, a
Dude, they should have
Vanderbilt,
lost. They
a
should have
Sil-
lost.
I know, but you
Yeah.
just go year for the last 15 years, you're like, yeah, it will be 42 to 14 in no time. It's, you want to watch Bama kill them for the first half, then you get bored. But these games are like they already lost to Vanderbilt and they could have lost to South Carolina.
Well, I hope this is what the future looks like, and this is a direct impact from
Yes.
transfer portal and NIL. It's just,
They actually made some, it's like when DirecTV lost the ticket, I was like, is YouTube gonna fuck it up? And I was like concerned. And YouTube with the 4 screens has made it
Oh,
better. So you
oh,
never
it's so
know.
good. It's so good.
Yeah, the 4 screens are amazing.
but what are you watching that on your laptop or?
I watch on my TV and then I
Okay.
watch another 4 games on my
You got to get
iPad.
a bigger TV though, man.
I have a nice sized TV.
Nah, it needs to be bigger.
Whatever. Hey, you can shit on my TV all you want, but you weren't complaining when Michigan beat Alabama in the semifinal.
No, that's because there was one game on the TV and it was a great game and Michigan won.
Well, you didn't say shit about the TV then. It brought
No,
you
what I'm
luck.
saying, it's not. I'm not mocking your TV. I'm just saying,
It
but
brought
like,
it brought you luck, brother.
if you get a massive TV, then it's almost like you're watching 4 separate TVs.
Remember the
Trust
game.
me, it works.
That's
It works
all. It's
really
no knock
well.
on your TV, Maddie. You have a
It
beautiful
works
TV.
really well,
All right.
boys.
Well, you should
Yeah.
don't apologize to me. Apologize to
Listen, next time
Kelly.
I'm over there, I will apologize. I'll bring your TV some flowers and
Exactly.
Can you
And
guys
candy.
guess the standings of who was in first place in the SEC?
Is it Vanderbilt?
No,
Who is it?
it's Texas A&M.
They got the right coach. I have a friend who's a big A&M fan, and he sent me something. I'm like, after they killed Missouri, I'm like, they got the right coach. They did. David Cutcliffe, very good coach. Great
where
job at Duke.
where he came from Duke.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Well, he came
I
from
mean Mike
A&M.
Elko.
Oh, I
Mike
remember
Elko.
this. What's
What's
that?
his-
It's Mike Elko.
Oh,
Oh,
my bad.
Elko.
But
Yeah,
he did
Cutcliffe
come
was
from
the
Duke.
coach before him.
He
Cutcliffe
did,
retired, I think.
he did come from Duke, though.
Wait, there's been
Yeah,
2
Cutcliffe
coaches since
came
Jimbo
from Duke, and so
Fisher.
did Elko.
My bad.
I'm so confused right now. You mean the
David
other
Cutcliffe was a coach before this guy.
at Duke?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
So
thinking.
here's
I'm
what
like,
this guy
yeah.
did. He coached, I think, the offense at A&M, and then he got a head coaching job at Duke. He did great there, and then they had him come back when they fired Jimbo.
Yep.
Wow.
I think
I
it might
got
have
that.
been defense, though.
Okay, I got that right though,
I
right?
think it might have been defense. But yeah, he
And
was at A&M, then at Duke, now back to A&M.
So they got the right guy, and they're playing really good. They got 2 good quarterbacks. They kill Missouri, who's taking a big step back this year. It's going to be very interesting, the final teams to make it. I have a good buddy who's a huge Ole Miss guy, went to Ole Miss. He's in my
Brutal
poker.
loss that this week.
He disappeared for 24 hours. Like, we're on a group text and he's texting every second. He disappeared because they had that fucking game, man. They
Ugh.
did. I don't believe in Lane Kiffin. Like, that's a game a good coach figures out a way to win.
I don't know if it's Kiffin or like maybe that's just Ole Miss maxed out.
They
I think
dominated
that's
the
more what
game.
it's like, Jim. I think you're right on that.
You could clearly tell they were the better team, though.
Because like he kind of like his last stop, he maxed out the potential at FAU. He might have maxed out what you could do at Ole Miss.
Potentially. So that means, like, hey, Florida State, Florida.
I don't think Florida State's called. I think Florida is probably calling.
Yeah. Then one of the weirdest things, I got lucky. I bet all day. I bet Tennessee versus Florida. It was tied up, and it was like tied at like 20, and there was something for 30 over 33 and a half. And I took it, the over. Tennessee scores a touchdown. Florida scores a touchdown with a minute to go. There is no need not to go for 2 points. You're the underdog. You're on the road. You go for 2 points. They kick the extra point, which gives me the cover, but they lose the game in overtime. And I was even thinking, like, thank you for kicking the extra point, but you got to go for 2 there. There's no reason not to go for 2.
Especially when you've been as shitty as they've been.
Exactly.
Like, what do you got?
You don't want to
lose?
stretch out the game when you're the
Especially against a
inferior
team like
team.
Tennessee.
But Tennessee's been off 2 bad games in a row.
Yeah. Especially
I
the
think
way
every
they
team
started
had like a few bad games except for like Texas.
Yeah, they have. And then
we'll see with
Texas,
them.
Georgia.
They got Georgia this week. So
That's going to be a light.
This week is a huge week for college football.
Yeah, definitely. But just to recap a few other of the games, we have Notre Dame and Clemson are both now 5-1.
They're back.
They both look pretty good too.
Yeah, agreed.
Like Clemson had to turn it on like later against Wake Forest. They kind of got down early, but then they turned it on and went to like they scored. It was like a 42-7 run.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had
Colorado lost a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
That was
Kansas
rough.
State.
Yeah, they had that game.
Iowa State now 6-0.
Matt Campbell,
that defense is good.
Matt Campbell, the most underrated coach in college football.
I can't believe he's still there. He was such hot shit in
Someone,
2020, you know?
somebody's gonna back up the Brinks truck for that guy.
We've said this years though.
I think we say this almost every year. Yeah.
since like
True.
2018.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
maybe
it
he
makes
likes
sense.
saying what
Like
he
this
does.
is like now he probably has to wait till he gets a senior team and then does well with these guys, you know? Like I was
It'll
looking
be
at
fun
him
to see
for
some of those teams make the playoffs.
yeah. No, it's
I'm
great.
excited to see who ends up being like in the Big 12 championship game because BYU, they're not pretty, but they keep winning these games.
Undefeated.
So Jim, take us through some of
Army
the games
Navy, do they have a chance?
games coming up this week then.
Yeah.
I don't have anything pulled up because I'm on my phone.
Well,
Let me take a
Oh,
look.
you're on your phone?
Texas.
Let me see if
Yeah,
I can
Georgia,
pull it up on my
Texas, the
phone.
big one.
Let me take a look.
Nebraska,
Yeah,
Indiana, we've
Georgia
already
Texas is
talked
obviously the
about.
big one.
Alabama, Tennessee could go either way.
Honestly, I know it's a huge spread. Oregon, Purdue, like this is the Purdue does this. Luke, you've been a fan of a Big Ten team. Purdue
Yes.
does this.
They're so bad.
But Purdue took
even the
Illinois
worst
to the
Purdue
limit
team
this
takes
week.
down. Yeah, like watch out.
Michigan, Illinois, LSU, Arkansas. LSU will be tired, so that's a great spot for Arkansas to pick them off. K-State, West
Miami,
Virginia.
Louisville's a good one.
Dude, I feel like the minute Iowa State's gonna just have one of those shit to bed games.
Alabama,
Where
Tennessee. Did you say that one?
and then another one is Louisville, Miami.
Yep. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. What else we got here?
It's a
Yeah,
hell of a
LSU,
weekend.
Arkansas. I think Arkansas
And then you got baseball.
pull this off.
Oh yeah, LSU at Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we got
Kansas State at
baseball.
West Virginia is a good one too. And then no, that's not gonna be. I was gonna say TCU Utah, but that's gonna be a trek.
Yeah.
Can
Good week,
rising.
Matt, do you want to give us a baseball update?
Yes. So the Dodgers beat the Padres.
Yeah,
that was
lots
a good
happened since
series.
last week. Oh my
Then they
god.
kill the Mets game one, and the
Yeah.
Mets come back, kill them game two. So
Yeah.
that series is 1-1. I have a buddy during the season, he put $50 on the Mets to make the World Series and win the World
Oh
Series
boy.
at like 50 and 60 to 1. And he's yet to hedge. And he
Never
is
Right.
flipping out. So I think
Never
the
had it.
Mets were like under 500 at the time. So that's
Wow.
pretty fucking wild. And the Yankees are just dominating the Indians or the Guardians, sorry. It's not really as they're up right now 3-0. Game one, game two. They already won game one pretty easy. The Guardians just can't score runs. They just don't have an offense. My Detroit bet got blown up, but they overachieved the whole year.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a monster next year. I know you're not, if you're even not a big baseball fan, watch their pitcher, Skubal pitch. He's one of the best pitchers I've seen in my lifetime. A
Yeah.
lefty. And so we're down to the final four. And I mean, probably will be the Yankees, Dodgers, but don't count the Mets out because they have magic and the Dodgers don't really have pitching.
Now it's pitching by
So,
committee. It's
but
almost
it's been wild because you feel that New York, LA hatred. And
oh yeah.
I know like all my friends who love football last year, we're talking about baseball a lot more because the playoffs have been really good. So it's weird. Baseball's turning into a
I
playoff
texted our
sport.
mutual friend that likes the Mets, and I said
Yeah.
the ghost of Chase Utley is going to haunt this series. He's like,
He's got to
"Fuck Chase
relax
Utley
about
to
that.
fucking hell."
Dude, that happened 10 fucking years ago. The guy
So I
made
just, he's
get
just
over it.
no, he will never get over that.
It's
He
like,
will never
dude,
get
Chase
over it.
Utley would have slid into anybody on any team. It's not
He
personal.
created a whole podcast called Dirty Slides.
I know.
Just because.
Yeah, I told his buddy, I'm listening to Dirty Slides, and this slide happened 7 years ago, and all he's talking about is that one slide and how Chase Utley's a piece of shit and deserves to die. I'm like, that's his baseball show. So
Oh,
Yes, the ghost of Chase Utley.
yes, but baseball is fun right now,
It
and
has been, and
yeah,
I mean, watching Otani is fun. I mean, the Dodgers are loaded. The Mets are the big underdogs. They have that underdog energy, and then the Yankees, like, unfortunately, there's no competition. The Guardians are pretty much you can just tell they can't hit.
I think they're tapped out.
who are you picking to win out of these four right now, Maddie?
Um, the National League is stronger, so the winner of the National League. So,
Mm,
gun to my head, I'll probably say the Dodgers
okay,
because they can't pitch. It's a little
yeah,
closer, but
that
I,
sucks.
I I think the Mets have a weird shot. The Mets are a magical team.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got that weird like team of destiny vibe
You know what they
around.
remind me of? The year the Nationals won, I think that was in 2018. They
yeah,
kind of are 2019,
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
And they were like 12 under in the beginning of the season. The Mets were 11 under this season.
Mm,
It's like that weird, like, don't count them out, and they keep getting hotter and hotter.
yeah.
By
No,
the way, I'm watching the Guardians. They're the fattest team I've ever seen in baseball.
like
There's about
physically
four
fat.
guys that could play slow pitch softball. And
That's
this girl, Lauren Jabbar, on the sidelines, Jesus Christ.
what. Could she play slow pitch softball too?
Yeah, any day with my team.
Oh, you're saying she's
Way too
attractive.
pretty to be. Well, I don't want to say that. Sound like a sexist pig.
Well, Maddie, you are. So
I don't
this
want to
girl.
act like, hey, sweetheart.
Oh, I'm looking her up right now. Yeah.
JBARRA is her
Yeah.
last name.
What an interesting last name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dodgers used to have this girl, Alana Rizzo, who I love too. And she could talk
Yeah, I know
baseball around
her.
everyone
Well,
too.
it's funny.
She would always call into Petros and Money and talk baseball. She was
The
so
Red Sox one year had a girl. This is going back in the 2000s, named Hazel May. Gorgeous Asian girl. And it ended up like three guys were into her. I think there was rumors that Terry Francona was into her.
oh
The
boy.
guys were so into her, they traded a guy named Derek Lowe,
Mhm.
and he saw her on TV, and he begged to get traded back.
What's this girl's
Jim's
name?
all about sports, though. He don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
No, I'm here for the whole as well, man.
Exactly.
All of
It's
the
disgusting.
holes.
You're fired.
All right, we'll get to Mr. McMahon just a sec. Wrapping up some other news. There was a funny video. This Houston area high school team football team, they beat a team 77-0. And then as they're walking through the line, they had these belts and they're just like spanking the other teams on the butt with these belts. So it's like you go through the humiliation of a game spanking and then you get physically spanked by another team.
Did the coach
Do
like
you get
that?
to thank them if you beat them?
I don't know. I don't know if there was a if it was a spank off, like winner gets the spank to spank or what.
I wonder if
Um,
the coach appreciated that.
yeah, I don't
Or
know,
both
but
coaches.
they're gunning for him though. They're like, oh no, we're not gonna take this. And then so the powers that be are gonna try to shut down spanking in
Yeah,
football.
that sounds pretty weird.
It does.
We former NBA legend Kendrick Perkins is accused of running a predatory NIL company. Basically, what they do is they offer athletes money up front in exchange for a big cut of their future NFL earnings.
Is that legal?
I don't know.
Doesn't he work for ESPN?
Uh, I believe
I don't
so.
think that
Or
matters.
yeah,
That's pretty weird.
yeah.
That's
This is
that.
all
Those
new
are
shit,
fucked
so I
up
don't even know if they
contracts.
have laws for this yet.
Those are fucked up kind of contracts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty wild. We're going to some weird times, and even though college football has been great this year, a parody, like this
yeah.
stuff is like, okay, this
Well,
is a
you know,
little
there's a lot
odd.
of Cuban-born players that owe their money to like an HVAC guy in Florida. because like this guy ran some HVAC company and then he would pay a cartel to get certain Cuban players off the island. You take them to
Sure.
Mexico.
Yeah.
If they go to Mexico first and not the US, they're considered free agents. So they
Mm.
can sign with anybody.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Like someone is gonna get burned though, because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna use my favorite guy, Tate Martell. Like if I was that company, you might give Tate Martell like $3 million when he's 15 years old or 16, and then he played 5 snaps in college football, and you got burned.
Well, it's okay. I don't think they're going for those guys. I think what they're doing is going for like they said that they're giving anywhere from 25,000 to hundreds of thousands, which means
You're going for
that
the smaller guys.
yeah, you're going for more like 3 and 4 stars that maybe you think are a good bet as opposed to like these 5-star guys which are kind of guaranteed um to make it to the NFL or not afraid. So it's a
Yeah.
gamble on their part. It certainly is, but it's also like I don't know. It's kind of a free
The
country.
future earnings thing is the only part that kind of like
What's that, Jim?
The future earnings aspect of it is the only part that I don't know if I like.
Yeah, I hope we'll see how this shakes out. I don't know. And these kids, a lot of them, that's a lot of money to a lot of them.
Yeah.
So
True.
we'll see. But with NIL, they can get money elsewhere too. So who knows? Jim, have you been watching the WNBA championship game?
It's
I'm gonna be
1-1,
honest.
right?
I have not.
It's the New York Liberty and the Lynx. It's now tied up 1-1. The first game, though, I watched the ending of this thing, and
Yeah.
Breanna Stewart, who's like one of the best players in the league, caught an inbound pass, just did this easy kind of roll and drive to the hoop, like barely contested, and then misses a layup. It was the most like WNBA thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just
Where are
like
you going with this?
I'm just saying the
Yeah.
league still has some years in the works
Yes.
before it's at that level.
I
That's
still
what
think they should go with the rib.
I agree with you. I don't know why they wouldn't. Um,
Let the ladies dunk.
let the ladies dunk. I agree because if that was a well, that's the thing too. Like a pro player, you never see a person like getting wide open at the end of the game just through a quick move and then driving right to the basket and scoring at the end of a championship game. It's insane, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe they will. But series is tied up 1-1. I don't know when the final game is. I think it's tomorrow night at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
If
the
you want to
best of
see.
5.
It's a best of 5?
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, if you're saying the final game.
Never
Or
mind
maybe
then.
it's the best of 3. I don't know.
I know they're moving to 7 series next year, so maybe this is best of I don't know. I don't even fucking know. God damn it.
Every turn, they just show that they're Bush League.
And also, the letter of intent is pretty much made dead in college football now. They're trying to restructure it with some sort of actual contract, I think, now. Because of all
NIL.
Yeah, because of NIL. So the article I had on this has disappeared, but I'll keep following along and update you.
I think it's just because so many kids like flip schools like right away.
It's just stupid. Yeah, I mean it's dumb. It puts way too much pressure on these kids. The fans get all excited, then they're turning on 17-year-old kids.
Yeah, it's just outdated at this point with college football the way where it's at right
now. All right, let's wrap this baby up by covering Mr. McMahon, episode 3, the screw job.
How many episodes is this thing? I forgot.
I think it's like 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now we
felt like we were at a halfway point. Sort of.
Yeah, it's about right. Maddie, there's 6, right?
Yeah, I think 6 or 6, maybe 7. But I
6 or 6.
think
Okay.
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it actually opens up with Wendy Richter, the old women's champ that we've covered here, that she had her own little screw job and by the fabulous Moolah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because she wanted more money. Vince didn't want to give it to her. He's like, that's just business. That's just business. And I'd do anything for business.
Yep.
So then
It's
it
his
picks up at
belt. It's
the
not hers.
it's
It's
not
his
personal.
belt.
Nothing's personal.
And
Just
it's his
business.
belt.
It's my belt.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my belt. And then the show gets into where we left off last week with the steroid trial. Vince was found not guilty after basically all the wrestlers were like, so like Vince never explicitly said to use steroids, which was the case was about. But it was also like that it's one of those things where it's like you're definitely guilty of running a dirty company because all of your headliners are clearly on steroids. And then he like him and his wife are getting up there afterwards like, see, this proves we're totally innocent of everything, you know. It's like
Well,
when Bill Cosby got off on that technicality and they're like, see, I'm innocent. It's like, no, this is a
you know
technical.
what? I will defend Vince here
Okay, please
just
do, man.
because steroids were legal and then they quickly became illegal.
Mhm.
And they kind of had to throw the bus at him. Now, obviously, he's firing guys who are not big or whatever. So obviously, but he never told guys that like you have to take them or distribute them. You
Yeah,
know, it's kind of alluded to, and it's up to them. So on a technicality,
yeah.
he is innocent. You know what I
No,
mean?
no. I mean, I guarantee. No, definitely by the letter of the law, he is innocent.
Yeah,
I won't argue that at all.
I
But
think you could be like innocent and not in the right.
yeah,
exactly. I
it's
mean, it's not cool he's doing to his employees, but never did he, tell them they have to take it.
yeah. And I guess the prosecution thought Hogan was really gonna like go after Vince,
And he didn't.
and he didn't. He just, but it sounded like he told the truth, anyways. You know, like I don't know. But it was funny though because it was just like Linda McMahon's like, see, or he's innocent, stuff like that. But he
It was a
clearly,
huge victory. I gotta say too, Dark Side of the Ring did a much better job getting everything out in
yeah,
a much better job.
yeah. I wish these guys were actually doing this one because
Exactly.
I
They're
feel they
much
would have
better.
done a better
Yeah,
series. So this is this episode too was really funny because it's like Bret Hart is just full on Bret
baby.
Hart here. He's like, you got the Undertaker, you got Bret Hart, two of the greatest wrestlers ever in the league.
Oh,
Like he's just talking about himself in the third
he
person.
loves himself so much.
Yeah, and it's just like
It's like, bro, too. The WWE was dying. You left and they went way the fuck up. What does that tell you?
he's like he goes, you know, they're after the steroid trial, they go, oh, you're looking, you know, they needed and Hogan left, they needed somebody else, and they looked to Bret Hart because they knew Bret Hart was a
Yeah.
family man. He wouldn't be cheating on his kids or taking steroids or whatever, which it was just like, oh my God, dude,
Yeah,
pull
he
your
really loves
fucking
himself.
head out of your like it's weird. During Dark Side, there were episodes where I'm like, okay, maybe I do like Bret Hart again. Like he
No.
and now it's just
No,
like, no, any of that
And then he went to the WCW and he blamed Eric Bischoff for not using him right.
and Goldberg for ruining his career. It just,
Oh, he's
I
so
mean, come
retarded.
on, dude. You had a great career. Just live with it, dude. Just enjoy what you have in this world, man. Um, so the WCW is on its way up, and then Lex Luger had been on Raw. He had been a WWE mainstay for a while, was a rising star with them, but didn't really have an official contract. Apparently, I didn't know Vince never really had real contracts back in the day. He just had
The
hand.
Lex
Yeah.
Express.
So Luger's on Raw one week, and then he's at Nitro the next week.
Yeah.
And that's like was really demoralizing to the WWE roster. They're like, oh my God,
Well,
they can just take everybody.
The amazing thing is Rick Rude is the first guy to be on both shows in the same day.
That's hilarious. Were they taping in the same city?
WWF was taping. So WWF was on a tape.
They taped like earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And WCW was live, so they would screw them by that. And then WCW would give the results. They'd be like, if you're on the other channel, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah, it's like, what did he say? Shawn Michaels kicked out the big guy tonight, okay? Just so you know. Like, it was really funny the way he
You know, they didn't use in this whole documentary is Vince Russo.
Where is he?
I think they were like, this guy's such a fucking pain in the ass that he's gonna make it so much about himself that he's so fucking annoying. I think that's what they
have
thought.
to get into him at some point.
And no Cornette.
Yeah. No I know, right? Like
that's the craziest part to me is no Cornette.
I think Cornette is wrestling,
but
and he
Cornette
worked there
is
for
such
years.
a staple on the dark sides that you just can't.
Yeah.
You think he might have like some handshake deal with them?
Well, it's not a handshake deal. I think it's like these guys are more interested in having big names talk. You know, they want the Bret Harts to talk. They got Vince McMahon talking. Undertaker. Undertaker. Yeah.
And the other guy that they got is Bruce Pritchard, and he's not a big guy, but he's an inside guy.
Right. Bruce Pritchard, I think he cut ties with Dark Side of the Ring a long time ago.
Yeah.
So the Clique, which was Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, and Diesel and all them, Triple H, they leave at they did that show at Madison Square Garden where it was their final show, and they all just went and hugged each other after their match. And Bret Hart's like, "Oh, this is the day wrestling died. They broke kayfabe. They
did though.
You know, like everyone, he's talking like that, and everybody else is like, the business is changing. They're not buying that shit anymore. So the more real you make it, the better. So just another stupid thing out of Bret Hart's fucking mouth.
Bret knows all.
This was really funny too, though, is when Vince McMahon starts to play the victim. And he's like, billionaire Ted Turner, I can't compete with billionaire Ted Turner. He's running a monopoly. He's just buying up all my guys. I can't compete with that. He's a billionaire. What do I got?
They're like, you did the same thing. He's like, well, it's different.
He went around in circles when they questioned him on that. It's like, well, it's competition.
So stupid.
I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. They were trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
You know? And it was just like, he's like, we're just a family-owned business.
You remind me of this guy used to cheat on his girlfriend, and he'd be like, he cheat on his girlfriend all the time. He's like, if my girlfriend ever cheats on me, I'll kill her and I'll kill the guy. And it's like, but you cheat all the time, dude.
Wait, who said that?
Some friends, a long time ago.
Right. So the NWO starts to rise, of course, and then McMahon realizes Bret Hart is not the answer, and he has a 20-year deal with Bret Hart, like $1 million a year. He's like, I can't pay this guy this much money. He starts showing Bret Hart like all these loopholes in the contract. I didn't realize this. He was like telling Bret Hart how to get out of his contract and then use it as leverage against the WCW too. So, and then
it was the greatest trade. It was the greatest addition by subtraction ever. It really worked out. It's amazing how much it worked out in the WWF's favor.
Yeah, and then of course the Montreal screw job happened, and
I didn't screw Bret Hart. Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart.
So Bret Hart says that. So the story is that McMahon was basically going to let Bret Hart hit him. Like he knew he was going to want to punch him, so he's just going to hit him. But Bret Hart's like, I don't know where that bullshit came from. We locked up like a real wrestling match, and then I got him in an uppercut.
I got to call bullshit on Bret Hart because if you watch The Dark Side, his story is totally different.
Is it?
He said to Vince that I'm gonna take a shower, and Vince was like, okay, and you can get one shot, and he let him get one shot. That's what he
I'm
said.
trying to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rewatch it. It's a totally different story. There's
That's
nothing about a
funny.
shower in this one.
Maybe Bret Hart just says brain damage. I
I
don't
think he
know.
That's probably
does.
good.
All right. Well, that's all we got for this week. You guys have anything else before we get out of
Just
here?
enjoy the football, boys, and much
Yeah.
love. And
Enjoy the
sports
football.
hold.
Enjoy the baseball. It's a great time to be alive.
Go
Uh,
Nebraska. Tough game this week. This is a
Yeah.
big
Go
test.
Big
tough
Red.
game.
Go
It's
Big
going to be
Red.
fun, though. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Need to get
Okay.
bowl eligible, boys.
You're going to be bowl eligible. Don't worry. Okay, guys, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. Bye-bye.
Woo-hoo!